Hey, morning guys. The leg and tower is up, the corn is sprayed, the nitrogen's on, and the crew's busy working back there. And so we are getting ready to spray soybeans. So you can just see right over the top there is the leg. We'll go back there and check that out in a little while. Oh, yeah, that's what we're going to be doing today. So Rochester, New Holland, is demoing us a sprayer. It's a 2023 New Holland sprayer with a 120-foot boom. That is all I know about it at this time. So the sales guy's coming up here today. We got to put some nozzles on it and then show me how to run it. This is all very different for me. I've only ever ran a Deere sprayer, so it's going to take me a little bit to get used to the two screens, and then obviously front boom versus rear boom is going to be quite a bit different, but that's kind of the reason we're demoing it. New sprayer kind of in the future, so we're trying to decide front boom or rear boom. Well, hey guys, it's the next day. Had the rep out yesterday from New Holland, and we played around with this sprayer, put some tips on it, put some water in it, and drove around. It's a lot different than what I'm used to. It's got the two screens. This screen here basically controls everything that the sprayer and the chassis is doing, and then everything on the top screen is your documentation, coverage, section control, boom height control, all of that stuff. So it is quite a bit different than what I'm used to, having the boom in the front and also being 120 feet. So back down here today and just gonna get a little bit more used to it before we go spray with it tomorrow. And then once you're unfolded, that is the view from the cab, so you can see pretty much every nozzle and what it's doing. So that is one nice feature of having the boom in the front. One of the hardest things so far to get used to is the hydro handle. Well, it's not really a hydro handle. It drives more like an IVT tractor, so you just kind of, yeah, and that part too. You have to select, that's forward, neutral, and reverse. So you have to select what direction you want it to go, and then you just kind of push that forward, and wherever you just kind of pick a speed and then it stays there, but the handle always comes back to neutral, which is very different than what I'm used to. One of the really nice things I like about it so far is how quiet it is in the cab. It is at full throttle right now, 2,500 engine RPMs right now, and you can hardly hear the motor at all. Yesterday the rep and I were playing with some things and totally forgot that the engine was at almost full throttle for about 5 minutes. It's got this nice corner post readout right here. I'm told it's similar to like what's in the new Case Quad Tracks. Tells you your fuel level, depth level, temperatures, and then speed. It has a pretty sweet little cruise control deal where you can kind of set what speed you want to spray at and push the handle all the way forward, and it will just take you to that speed every time. So overall, there's a lot of nice features in here. It's different than what I'm used to. Obviously the boom is in front of me, but instead of behind me, and the computer system is very different. It would be like using an iPhone and going to an Android or vice versa. So things aren't in the exact same spot. Setup is a little bit different, but overall it's very user-friendly and very quiet versus having the motor in front of you. Just gonna hop out here and show you where you fill and how you fill it. So this is the front of the machine, and there is a handle right here, and that comes down, and this here is your main fill line. This fills your rinse water tank, and then there's a display and some buttons here to control some different functions while you're filling. It has a flow meter up here that meters it on as you're filling. So then it displays it on this readout right here. So we have 411 gallons left. We obviously haven't filled anything here. Down here, you can turn the pump on and off, open some different valves, and then this one also has an eductor for chemicals that just folds down there. So this button here would turn that on and off. I believe, which we're gonna see right now, that these buttons here will raise and lower the boom. Yep. So you can set the boom down, pick the boom up right from this control panel here. I'm really not sure where that would come into play, but it's cool that you can do it from here. So a lot of nice features. It's kind of nice that you are down in the shade when you're loading, but overall a lot of nice features. We got about 400 gallons of water left in the tank, so I'm just going to go out and spray, just drive down the gravel lanes here and spray just over the top of the corn and get the rest of the water out so that we can spray soybeans with it tomorrow. All right guys, so we ran the blue sprayer a little bit and I didn't get a lot of footage of it. You saw me messing around with it a little bit with just water in the tank, kind of getting used to it. It's very different than what I'm used to, like I said before, so I didn't get a lot of footage of me running it. But right now I want to tell you what I like and what I don't like about this sprayer. I'll start with what I liked and didn't like about the loading of the sprayer down here underneath the cab. I do like how it's underneath the sprayer and in the shade, kind of out of the sun, and then you are protected from underneath the boom, because if I load the John Deere sprayer and the booms are folded up, sometimes you get dripped on a little bit, so that's not going to happen on this sprayer. Something that I do not like about this sprayer is the size of the eductor here. We use the eductor on every load because we do not haul hot loads, meaning we don't bring a tank of already mixed up water and chemicals to the sprayer. I'm mixing it all right here at the sprayer. On the John Deere, it holds roughly 8 gallons, and this one you struggle to get like 3 gallons, so that's a big downfall. The placement of the valve to suck the stuff on is kind of clumsy too, but the other thing I do like is this display readout right here tells you how many gallons you are putting on. So the display readout right here just tells you how many gallons of water has been pumped into the sprayer, so that you don't have to run around the side of the machine and look up there at the sight tube. You know exactly how many gallons of water you have on the machine. So overall, I like how it loads. The eductor being small is kind of a big thing, and then to store this stuff after you load every tank, it takes some doing to get it up there and locked into place. Same with this, you gotta get this up there and that kind of lock that into place. So you do that, you know, 10, 12 times a day, it could get old. But overall, I like the way that it loads. Something else that is kind of annoying too is you are loading at the front of the sprayer here. So then to go get back in the cab, you have to walk all the way back to the back and then walk back across the top all the way back to the cab. So that is a little bit annoying. I ran a Hagie 2022 Hagie last summer, and they changed their entry into the cab and their loading to right behind the front tire, so everything would be done right in here, which was super convenient. You get out of the cab, you're right there, ready to load as soon as you get down from the cab. This sprayer has hydraulic ride, meaning, so these are hydraulic cylinders with an accumulator up here that absorbs a bunch of the shock, and that's basically where you get your suspension from. It is adjustable from 72 inches of ground clearance to all the way up to 78 inches of ground clearance, so you could easily get over the top of tasseled corn. I've never ran anything with hydraulic suspension like this before. Everything that I've ever ran has been airbags, overall the ride was very good, so I can't say anything bad about the suspension on this sprayer. Another thing that is really nice on this sprayer is these quick handles here. Kind of the same as the front. You pull it, pan drops down, you can get to everything, hydraulics, you can service everything standing on the ground. On the front, you can drop the panels down and get to your filters and clean those. And then to close them back up, you just give them a quick slam like that and you're ready to go again. So that is really nice. Our Deere right now is pins that you have to pull out, swing the doors down. So this is definitely more accessible to the motor and filters over what we're used to. So we'll go ahead and hop up in the cab. And oh, this forgot to mention this does have the rear boom on it for doing fungicide on tasseled corn. So what you would do is shut the center section off in the front, so then you would be spraying with this section back here, because the boom is up so high in tasseled corn that if you sprayed with the front, you just spray your windshield and have to run the windshield wiper all day. So the rear boom is nice. Obviously we didn't use it because we sprayed soybeans, but it is nice to be able to have that option to spray your fungicide on tasseled corn. Right now we're hiring an airplane to spray our fungicide, so we would be able to use our own sprayer. So that would be definitely an added benefit to our farm. So we'll hop up here now and hop in the cab, and I'll show you some things I did and didn't like in the cab. While these things are booting up and the AC is booting up because it is really hot out today, the biggest thing that I liked about the cab is how quiet it is. You can run this thing, like I said before, at full throttle and you hardly know that it's running at all. Another thing I really liked was the visibility inside the cab. You could see every nozzle. When this thing is unfolded and in spraying position, you can see if you got a plug nozzle, you can see your spray pattern. The visibility is great. The handling of the machine is really nice. It handles itself really well, even being a 120-foot boom. That's a lot of weight out front, but it didn't seem to have any trouble. It didn't sway. I mean, it's pretty solid. The booms are very stable. The thing that I really have a hard time with is how you have to select forward and reverse on the handle here. I'm used to being able to pull this back for reverse, push this forward for forward, so that I really struggled with. The overall placement of the controls is really well designed in this sprayer. Everything is where it should be. Your on and off is here. I mean, everything is very comfortable in your hand, but that forward and reverse really tripped me up on that. You have your boom control, manual boom control back here. Your wing controls is here, and all this touchpad is basically does everything you need to do. The last thing is the computer, and I'm pretty biased towards the Deere system. We've been using it now for 10 or 15 years, and so this was very, very difficult for me to get used to where everything is placed. I'm not saying that it's a bad system, but it was very difficult for me to get used to running the two different screens, and just overall it felt clunky getting to your jobs, and the auto steer. I mean, I'm just very used to the John Deere, so it was tough for me to get past the computer system in here. One of the biggest things that I didn't like was that I could not put my fields from my database in here, because I use the John Deere Operations Center to create all of my machine profiles, do all of my data management. So I had to make new fields, new guidance lines, everything to go in here, which was a big hurdle. I was able to get the data back out and put into my database so that I could see what I did, but not being able to put it in was tough. And then overall, the display just seems slow. You know, like you touch something and it doesn't respond, so you touch it again, still doesn't respond, and then it's just kind of slow to respond to your touches. The next thing is probably a me thing, but I do run some dual displays, like you saw in the spreader truck. I do run for that, but in my sprayer, I like to have everything on one screen, and you probably could lay this out, but it just wasn't. So I kind of just ran it how they brought it to me. I didn't really like how you had to have the guidance up here and then all your spray functions down here. I really would like to have it all on one screen, because this screen is a little bit in the way for looking out this window when this boom is unfolded. So that is kind of a negative on this. Overall, it's a really, really nice sprayer. Not what I'm used to, but we are strongly considering a front boom, so it would be this or a Hagie, which Hagie was bought by John Deere, so that gives them a little bit of a leg up in my world, because it's a seamless data management back and forth. The tech support is there. We're established with our local John Deere dealer, so that would be tough to leave them and go to a different company for our sprayer. Probably the biggest overall thing that would keep me from buying this sprayer is the computer system. I'm just not familiar with it. It takes me a long time in the field to set a guidance line, and I know I would get used to that, but the efficiency that I can get if I know the computer system already would be tough to not have something that I know already. But overall, it is a very, very nice sprayer. Do I see us owning one of these on our farm? No. I'm thankful for the opportunity. Thank you to Rochester, New Holland for bringing this out and letting us try it. I just don't see us making the switch from John Deere to this. But like I said, I am thankful that they let us run this and try it out. So thank you guys for watching this video. It's just a little bit different than what I have been doing. So hopefully you liked it, and we'll see you on the next one.